Long time no see. Well, it's Rambler here. Long time no see, long time no chat. Okay, guys. But this has been coming for a while. I've been meaning to get the live stream started again, and other things in my life have pushed it back. Rent increases, changes in the family. A whole lot of things have happened since we had a live stream last time. I think the last time we had a live stream was, back in December. Well, here we are, it's June. I know it's been a long time. What have I been up to? What's the Calgary Rambler been up to? Well, we start off the year with a tragedy that happened. My godfather passed away in January at 79 years of age. Now, he wasn't a very endearing person. He involved himself in his life, but did so selfishly. And I would have moved to Calgary a heck of a lot sooner if it wasn't for his selfish ways. Very self-centered man. Very, very self-centered man. I think he was the only child in his family, and he wanted it and dictated his life to the whole world rotating around him and his interests and what he wanted to do. He wasn't a big fan of sharing with other people. So I would have moved to Calgary. I would have been a resident of Calgary at around 2000. But Uncle Barry, being the selfish son of a bitch that he was, kept me away until I finally just said, "Fuck you, Barry, I'm coming here anyway. I work out here." I was already working in the oil patch. So I said, "Screw you, Ontario's done. It's going to get a lot worse in Ontario." And this was about 2006. He and I had this conversation. So 2007 rolls around, and I make sure I get all the big tickets for the oil fields out here in Alberta, and I move here in the summer of 2007, and I've been here ever since. I put up with him and his selfish ways all these years up until January of this year, 24, where he finally kicked the bucket and died. And so he's gone. But now, the city of Calgary has a different feel to it. It doesn't feel the way it did when he was alive. It has a more positive feeling to it, a more engaging feeling. There's a mystique that lies within Calgary. I hear sirens in the background. There's a mystique that lies in Calgary that I didn't feel before January. It's beginning of July now. The end of June, beginning of July. He's been gone for 6 months, and I can tell you right now, I don't feel anything. I don't, for him. He had 2 godchildren in my family. Myself and one other girl. I was adopted at the same time I was. Neither of us. I mean, the guy was worth easily 8-9 million. And he didn't share anything. I don't care about me because my money comes from the oil fields. But the girl, I'm furious at him for. I really am. He screwed her over really bad. She's a vulnerable Canadian, neo-autistic, high-functioning, and he could have left it to her. Like, even my share, I don't give a root stootin' fuck about it. He could have left the whole thing to her, but he didn't leave her 1 cent. That's just terrific. So, I don't know. Anyway, so he dies. He's gone. Good riddance. I won't miss him. And I move on, basically. What have I done since then? Well, I've taken stock of what's going on here in Alberta, Canada, and it's all positive as far as my standpoint. Now, if you're not a follower of what's been going on here, we continued on with our United Progressive Conservative Party, provincial party here in Alberta, and the current serving premier is Danielle Smith. And in my books, at least, she's doing a damn good job. However, that remains to be seen if you're not a follower or liker of the UCP. It seems that we have a division here in Alberta, and there's a lot of people who have come here that don't belong in Alberta. I'm going to firmly say that. They need to get to the airport, get on a plane, and leave forever. They don't belong here. Therefore, the destruction of the industry that paid for my children's education and my grandchildren, the nest egg for the grandkids. So, these liberals, these NDP followers, well, after the election happened, provincial election, Danielle Smith won, and Rachel Notley lost. She was the former leader of the NDP here in Alberta. So she lost and took her walk in the snow, and about a week or so ago, she stepped down fully after the party elected a new leader. Well, you wouldn't believe who they elected. They elected Calgary's worst mayor to date, Naheed Nenshi. Muslim, gay as a $3 bill, and narcissistic galore. This son of a bitch would destroy Alberta single-handedly. If he gets in, the first thing he's going to do is shut off the pipeline going south and the pipeline going west. He hates oil and gas. He screwed around with things so heavily that oil and gas companies left Calgary. A lot of them. I was looking at our oil and gas directory, and names after name after name of companies that used to live here in Calgary are back in Texas and Nevada and other places in the United States. They're not here. They still have contracts here, but they're not here. Their headquarters have shuttered and gone south. But that's okay, it seems. I say that because now we have the upper hand again. With Danielle Smith, she turned the pipelines on again, especially the ones going to China. Okay, China's got possibly a population of 3 billion human beings living in that country. And here, well, we're in the millions. I think we're what, 30 to 33 million here in Canada, and 333 million in the United States. So between the two countries, it's much, much less than China. So why not keep China on board? I'm just saying, you know. However, excuse me, sorry about that. However, to the south of us, Mr. Big Daddy Rat, aka overly old Joseph Biden, who can't even stand on his own 2 feet, and his memory isn't worth 2 shits in a barrel, is anti-oil and gas. He's let his pundits and his party speak for him, and the once prosperous Texas oil field is now shuttered. Every day I'm on Rig Zone, Rig Talk, and other Facebook pages and that type of thing, and the rig workers down in the States are like, where do I go to work? You know, where can I find work to work on a rig? Well, I've told them, come on up to Canada. If you're able to get through the border, and it's sticky, if you got a criminal record, forget it. You're not crossing the border into Canada. Plain and simple. Or if you have a rotten credit rating, you're not coming up here. No way. Anyway, we are in a boom. We are in a oil and gas boom, and we pay good Canadian dollars. I have been posting over the last 3 months on my Facebook page and my YouTube For You pages on the current wage structure, pay structure here in Canada. Now, for me, the big interest is in the drilling, working on oil and gas drilling rigs, and the pay structure for there. I'll give you one of them right now. Okay, you want to work on an oil and gas rig here in Canada and no experience. Okay, fine. Most Canadians don't have that. Got to start somewhere, right? So you come in, and you can be 18, you can be 58. Doesn't matter. Okay, the age doesn't matter. It's just your ability to work, get along with others, follow direction, and work hard. It's hard work working on an oil rig. Okay, so you come in and sign all the paperwork, that kind of thing. You start working on the rig. Your pay works out to being $682 per day. Okay, in the midst of all that, like it starts out pretty much at, I think it's $465 base pay. Okay, somewhere around there. I'm probably off by a few dollars, but somewhere in there. Okay, and then the rest is per dime. What's per dime? It's a tax-free amount of money that is paid to cover the cost of living. All right, and it's also used for hotels and things like this. Camp is free, by the way, no cost. So you come in, you get your per dime tapped on, so you're $685 per day. Times that by 14 days, because that's, in Canada, that's how much they'll let you work before you can take time off. So you do that, then you times that by three weeks, times that by 248 days per year. That comes out to just under $171,000 a year. Okay? So yes, we're paying good money out here. And yours truly is in a, now I'm looking at the cost of living. Today I just put a post up on my Facebook with a picture showing a Canadian price at SureSave for T-bone steaks. Okay, one pack, T-bone steaks. I think it was $72, okay, for a pack of T-bone steaks. 2 little T-bones in the package. 8 ounces. Okay? Nothing super big. They're not big porterhouses. They're not big kahunas that, custom cut. No. These are little 8 ounces or less. Okay? Now, I posted, when I showed that picture, I says, all right, well, I guess $178,000 a year working as a roughneck on an oil rig is justified at the cost of food today. Here's your price. I took this picture. And I've got more pictures that I took as well at ShareSafe. And I'll tell you, I got about 60 responses. 80% of those were wide open mouths. People were just like, what? Yeah, well, welcome to the world, people. You want a brand new Dodge Ram? It's $151,000. The Dodge dealership right now in Canada. Okay? I don't know about US prices. I know Canadian prices. And I'm telling you right now, the wage structure is justified. I'm not happy, though. I'm going to level with you another wage differential here. I'm not happy with the fact that an 18-year-old young man, Aberdeen Singh is his name, okay? He's 18 years old. He just graduated high school in Brampton, Ontario, at St. Xavier High School, highest marks in his class, for his first job until he saves enough money to go to university, is to come out to the oil patch, get hired on by Paladin Security, sitting there up at the camp that the tar sands workers live at while they're on their shift schedule, and his yearly pay is $105,000. Okay, now that's a good pay, good for him. Okay, but that is the same pay that a Calgary police officer with 6 goddamn fucking years in, after $67,000 to $85,000 of debt of university, 4 years university before he even became an officer and took the oath. Okay, he had to work 6 years in order to reach that pay scale. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's not right. Not right at all. That goes for firefighters. That goes for EMS personnel. That goes for librarians, teachers, professors. They're all grossly underpaid. 18 years old, and this young guy, no experience. All right. He had some volunteer time before, and I guess Singh had worked at McDonald's and Tim Hortons before as well. But he's now $105K. And it's the same wage. It's actually a higher wage than the RCMP officers make that respond to calls at the camp and they show up. Okay? He's making the same amount as a sergeant with the RCMP. I'm just saying. All right? Now I'm venting a little bit, I know, but I have to get these facts out there. I've done a lot of research on this. It's good, yet it's bad. The differential is really bad. So, what do I think needs to happen now? Canadians have been laying down Americans, too, have been laying down for too long, and you are getting bulldozed now by the government. These little beanie-looking POS piles of garbage that wear a cheap suit and go to Capitol Hill in the United States and the Ottawa, up here in Ottawa. I guess they call it Capitol Hill here too. But these 18 or so people in Canada that decide what happens to you, how much you pay, and so on and so forth. The prices have gone up 400% in Canada since the current federal government came in. Not a good thing. Not a moment of pride there, I'll tell you that. Anyways, I don't know if this is going to shut off or not. I just got a notification saying that my device is too hot. It doesn't feel it. Weird. Okay, well, we'll see how far we get. Anyway, guys and gals, sorry about that, but somehow my phone's overheating and I don't feel it. Weird. Okay, so where was I? Let's get back to this. So the Liberal Party is the governing party in Canada at the moment. The Right Honorable Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister. And he hates Canada. It shows more and more and more every single day how much that clown hates us. He brings in people with criminal records to sit in his party, and they tell us what to do. He sits as a right-hand man to Klaus Schwab, the organizer and big head guru at the World Economic Forum overseas in Europe. And Schwab hates the petroleum industry with a passion. That's why you're having the war going on over there. Because Putin's no dummy. I'm not going to lie to you. Vladimir Putin's no dummy. But Vladimir Putin hates Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab wanted to shut down the whole oil and gas industry worldwide. Just shut the whole damn thing down. Well, it's not going to happen. Not in my lifetime and not in yours. But Klaus Schwab has caused more damage worldwide than I care to know about. He's let a little 16-year-old snot-nosed rugrat girl with long blonde hair run around from country to country telling us how to live our lives. She can't do that anymore because she now has a criminal record as well. She can't come into Canada. She can't come into Britain. She can't come into France. She can't come into so many other countries because of her criminal record for her social activism. So Schwab's made a real mess of things. Back home here in Canada, Trudeau has looked at different things, and Trudeau has jumped at different things. Now, I'm wondering how much Justin Trudeau hates oil and gas. The reason why I'm saying this is, as you know, if you're Canadian, Trudeau has really taken a liking to China and how they do things over there. Well, China still has coal-fired factories going like crazy over there, with no sign of slowing down. In fact, I think they built a few more. Our oil and gas is now going to the west. Not to the south, to the States. That's thanks to Joe Biden. Those taps are closing up. But the taps are wide open going to China. And as I explained earlier, with the population differential, it's about 10 times bigger the market over in China than what it is in the United States. So the States will be the ultimate ones that suffer. Will they still buy oil and gas from the Saudis? Oh, probably, more than likely, as long as the Saudis can keep producing. The Saudis have enough oil to keep going for another 40 years. Canada has enough oil for 300 more years. And I don't know what it's like over in China. I won't lie to you, I haven't checked. However, that being said, Russia is starting to become dry county. A number of their oil fields are petering off, so they're trying to find other ways to extract hydrocarbons from inside the Earth's crust. And I wish them well at doing that. I watched a show 3 weeks ago about their oil situation over there. And it's starting to slow down. It really is. So will Putin become dependent on China? And China's getting their barrels of oil from us? Stay tuned. But in the meantime, the rest of Europe has come knocking. They've gone as far as Justin Trudeau. They haven't sidestepped him yet to go to Danielle and talk to her. It would be something if those people would fly their Lear jets into Calgary as opposed to going to Ottawa. And then we start making bilateral deals with them. I don't know how that would work. We do have James Bay out there, but that to a large degree freezes over in the winter, so I don't know how this would work for building pipelines and or shipping by tanker. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we have that. Our economy here in Western Canada is very good. Saskatchewan's is stabling up. Every day I read something new that's very promising for them. They still have a really low population, I might add, guys. Really low, okay? Like, I think there's still only about 2 to 3 million people, if that, in Saskatchewan. They don't have a big population base. And it might be under 1 million, I don't know. Saskatoon has about 200,000. I guess it's under 1 million. Saskatoon is 200,000. And Regina, about 165. So, yeah. And there are all the other cities with well under 100,000 population apiece. Prince Albert, maybe 35,000 people. But yet they have a much sweeter crude and bitumen count than we do here in Alberta. So there's that too. So they're doing well. BC, well, BC is doing what they can. They're in recovery mode. they went with the NDP and it stung them really bad. So they're in recovery mode now. I wish British Columbia the best. Their oil and rig camps are busy. And our problem right now isn't the work. Problem right now is the people. Being able to bring in good, qualified people to work those rigs. We're sitting here in Western Canada and we have 106 drilling rigs that are skidded right now. It's a term we use for laying down. The rigs are not working. They're in yards all across Alberta, waiting to be recommissioned and put on a hold with a complete staff, and then they can go to work. The other thing here is going back a thing here is we have some of the most up-to-date and best training in the world here in Alberta too. I forgot to mention that earlier. And some of the safest oil rigs here in Canada. I've talked to some of my friends. Shout out to my buddy Dwayne Diablo. He's out there. He's been drilling for oil and gas for about 26 years. And Dwayne, he's been over in Algeria drilling. But their rigs, well, yeah. They're so old. It's they go back to the 1960s. But they're doing it. They're doing it. They're drilling. And they're producing results. However, he has said that our rigs here are some of the safest. Even safer than the United States. The United States still uses the old rotary table Kelly system. Old chain drive, that type of thing. Up here we've pretty much done away with the chain drives. They're not safe to use, they're archaic. And you can only do one stand of pipe going into ground. You can't do doubles. It's too much pressure on the mast, and you get into a lot of trouble. Whereas if you have a top drive, you can run 2 strands going down it. Pretty much, I'd say about 80% of the top drives that I've been on, they run double strand. I was on one, whereas the tool push was, I'm not going to name who it is, but he was a bit of a sticky ogre on just staying with one strand of pipe. And we looked at his Tasco 3800 top drive, and I was like, "Come on, dude, you can go double." No, we've never gone double. We tried it so many times, it never worked. Well, okay. So most of them out there, though, they're running double strand, and they're getting the results quicker. Therefore, you can move around the holes much faster. The hours that you're in, I didn't mention that, but the hours that you're in, 12 hours a day. I mentioned it was 14 days, and you're working about 268 days per year. So that's not too bad for that kind of money, you know. And the per dime is income tax free, by the way. They don't charge tax on per dime. So that's $44,000 a year tax free. That's pretty sweet. Now, what really gets me is that people in other provinces aren't seeing this. And they still come into my province here of Alberta negative-minded against it. But yet, they're bitching about the fact that they only make $42,000 a year in the job that they're in. Well, open your eyes, Buster. Take a look. Take a better look and a proper look at what we're doing here. you can make your $44,000 a year in your warehouse job in Ontario, or you can do it here, or you can do it in Quebec, wherever. It's never going to be more than that at the moment, the way things are. Or you can smarten up, go back to school for 2 weeks, get some tickets, come out, be fully qualified. You already work hard anyways with heavy labor, so you'd be a shoo-in to come in. Come work on the rigs. Come roughneck and make a real salary. Or is it just guys? No, women are doing it too. I watched a video last week of a young lady who lives here in Alberta, a former school teacher, and she's out there and she's educating her previous students on what can be had. Like the other, I guess it was the other month, back in May, she passed some of her former students, her alma mater, and they were standing next to a Tim Horton with their hands in their pockets, and they saw her drive by, and they knew it was her. So she gave a little tap of the gas from the Duramax that she was driving, brand new Duramax, and as to show them, you know, there's more out here than you guys could possibly fathom. I'm doing it. Why can't you? And they can. I've talked to a number of young guys here, and a couple of them live on reservations. And one of those, right across the street from where he is some donkey heads that are going up and down, up and down. And he says, I asked him last week, I says, is there any activity going on other than the donkey heads? He says, yeah. He said, there were some guys here with white hats on and white trucks that pulled up, and they were going over from the donkey head number, I guess is number 3, and we're measuring and getting ready to set up. I says, for what, matting? I says, you let me know if they put matting down. Well, 25 minutes ago he called. I didn't get the message yet, but he called. So I'm presuming there's activity, and they put down the matting and are getting ready to drill. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign. The money's there, guys. Okay, I can't say enough about it. If you don't want to work on a rig, can you work somewhere else and make that kind of cash? Of course you can. Of course you can. Okay? If you want to become a field engineer, absolutely. What kind of cash are you going to make there? About $363,000 a year. Okay? Think about that. $363 grand per year as a field engineer. If you want to go that way. You want to go into 6 months of college. Okay, is what it is. You go into one of the colleges here in Alberta, and you take the petroleum technology stream, graduate from it, and the employers will be knocking down your door real fast. Okay? Or you can even go in depth and do the administration part of it. That's at university level. And your pay is going to be well over in advance of $400,000 a year. Okay? The possibilities are endless out here. So the choice is yours, guys and gals. Do you want to sit there making your $44,000 a year? Are you happy doing that? God bless you. But if you're not and you want more challenge and you know you can do more, if you live in Quebec, Ontario, the Maritimes, come on up here. Okay? Come on west. We got the work for you. I've got the rig. I'm telling you right now, I've got a rig sitting in the yard. I've got a complement of about 78% of staff that are going into the field office and going through necessary means to getting hired and suited up, kitted up, if you will, old military term, and getting ready to go out in the field. Once I have 100% for that rig, and that includes a list of at least 35 to 40 people that are on call in case somebody doesn't show up or quits. The rig will be brought online, and I'll get a phone call, I'll get a text, I'll get everything, I'll get a Zoom meeting, and it's where the rig goes. And then I got to go meet up with the bush, and we drive down to the location for the first hole, and we start our measurements. Then we bring it online, tie it in. If it's already over a pre-existing hole, well, we as we bring the sub in, I jump up on top of the sub with the plumb bomb, and I measure it as it goes in. And bang, bang, bang. A few hours later, we're off to drilling, as per normal. But I need the staff, okay? I'm a driller, assistant relief tool push, and I need the people, okay? I need you guys out there in Canada, or the US, or both, all right? Now, unfortunately for international applicants, it's a lot harder. I know there's companies out there, I've seen their ads, and I don't think they're doing the right thing. They're trying to make money off of vulnerable people coming into Canada and posing as legitimate brokers. But the truth is, a lot of them are not. Okay? And you're going to get stung. When you come into Canada, you have to meet certain immigration standards. And I'll tell you, it's not as easy as just showing up here at the airport, somebody coming in, grabbing you, and taking you in to the patch. It doesn't work that way. You have to jump a whole slew of hoops before. And it's not easy. Not at all. So that's why it's limited to Canada and the US. US people that are already in the patch, they're ready to go. Okay, it's a unilateral move straight across. It's just that they can't have a criminal record or lousy credit crossing the border, because Trudeau says we don't want that kind of responsibility, having to deal with that. But if you're clear on both accounts, absolutely. Get your hiney hole up here yesterday. Back up your Ford F-350 or Cummins diesel or Duramax, whatever you got. Throw a camper on the back. Throw all your gear in it. Head north, son. We'll see, or daughter, and we'll see you when you get here. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it where I'm at right now. As you can tell from all my rambling, hence my name, I'm getting ready to head out. Just waiting for about 6 more people to be hired. And it's slow going. That's why I'm making this video. I'm peeling out there, I'm putting it out there into internet land, and hopefully somebody will listen. You want to get hired? Come north, my boy. But if you're already a rigger, okay, I call them riggers, but if you're already a roughneck and you've been working for years, one of our big employers here is Ensign Drilling. And then there's my company, Savannah Drilling, and then after that, they're all smaller companies, okay? Ensign has made big strides in the industry. They bought up 2 companies that I was involved with. Okay, Neighbors. They bought Neighbors in 2016, and they also bought about 2 or 3 other companies. I think they may or may not have bought up Central West Well Servicing, who bought up Poncho. a company that I was with years and years ago. And Ensign is making big strides in the industry, okay? So if you're coming north to Canada, call Ensign. I think it's just 1-888 Ensign, okay? Call them and talk to a job recruiter. Tell them you want to come up to Canada, drill for oil and gas. They'll move you up here, certainly, in a heartbeat. They move our guys down south. Yeah, absolutely. You know, Savannah Drilling Set had a ton of my friends that have gone to Australia, and they're drilling in Australia. Go figure, eh? Shout out to my friend Sancho. He's down there now. I wanted to bring him onto my rig, but I can't because he's down in Australia now. Down at Kakalaki. So hopefully he's enjoying himself and not rubbing noses with too many king cobras. And yeah, the money's coming in good. But others in the industry, my friend Scott, he's down in Mexico right now. Troy. Troy's international. I think Troy's in Abu Dhabi still. Blaine was new. Actually, Blaine was featured on one of the oil drilling shows, documentaries there about 10, 12 years ago. Blaine, he's overseas as well. He drilled for a while in Canada, went to the States, drilled for a while down there, went to Australia, then went back over to Europe and started working his way around there. A couple other guys that, since I made the first oil and gas documentary, chat, if you will, they passed on. And yeah, still going forward, guys. Still going forward. So, like I said, not to sound redundant, but you got the qualifications. You've been drilling for oil and gas. Even if you want to come up and you haven't done it yet, make your way north. Calgary, Alberta. Okay? All right.